Have you ever tried optimizing your Amazon PPC campaigns on a tight budget? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you a case study on where we helped a client who did have a tight budget and they were also trying to launch this product in a very competitive space. And we've set their campaigns up in a specific manner to allow them to maximize and leverage every single dollar that they're spending on marketing to get them the absolute best results, and what you can do today to mimic their success. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and if you're on YouTube, click the alert notification. That way, as I give more tips like this, you'll get notified. Okay, so I just wanted to show you real quick, this particular client, the budget that they set was $250 to $500, which is one of the lowest monthly budgets we recommend. But again, this particular seller had, their budget was a bit tighter, and so we're already at the halfway point. So I just wanted to show you real quick that this particular product was launched in an extremely competitive product space. Okay, it's just very competitive. The average cost per click for this particular item is very high. So I'll show you how in the first month, with very low reviews, we've still managed to get a relatively low ACoS, considering that this is a brand new product with very low reviews. So you can see the trajectory is good. We're on pace to do about 1,500, maybe a little bit more, with about 400 in ad spend to complete the first 30 days. Now let me show you exactly how we set up the keywords and the research process that we went through to get the campaign to produce these particular results. Alright, so the very first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to gather some keywords. So the keyword tool that we use to gather the necessary search volumes on the keywords we're going to be putting in the campaigns is called Helium 10. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of it. If you haven't, I will have a link below in the description where you can save 50% off on your very first month. But this is going to be the tool that we're going to be using to get keyword volume data. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to Amazon and you're going to want to type in your main keyword phrase. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you're selling leather wallets. Just type in leather wallet, and when you click on search, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find one of the top 5 competitors with the most reviews on page 1. So what you're going to want to do is, for example, let's use this product, the Levi's leather wallet. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy their ASIN, right? They have over 2,200 reviews, which means this particular product is well indexed all over Amazon for both short and long-term keywords. I'm sorry, long-tail keywords. So now all you're going to want to do is copy the ASIN, and what you're going to do is go to Helium 10 and paste the ASIN in the Cerebro product section. Okay, so let's just copy it right here, and then we'll just go to Cerebro and go ahead and paste, and let's go ahead and get keywords, and let's just do new search. Okay, so once it gives you these keywords, you're gonna have to apply a few filters, not too many. You don't want to make it too complicated, but very specific filters, so that way you can get highly relevant keywords that have decent search volume and that are not so competitive. Because if you're working on the, if your budget is a bit tighter that first month, this is going to be one of the best ways to approach Amazon PPC, because by targeting high or relatively high search volume keywords with low competition and using your competitor as the backbone for that research, you're going to save yourself a tremendous amount of time, because if they have over 2,000 reviews, as an example, they've basically done all of the legwork for you in terms of finding all of the keywords necessary that are related for this particular product, which means you can easily cherry pick what keywords you want to add into your campaigns. Okay, so now that Cerebro has pulled up this keyword data, let's go ahead and apply 2 filters, and they're both going to be in the search volume column. So the very first thing you're going to want to do, because you can see there's over 9,000 search results, is you want to do a minimum of 500 and a maximum of 2,500. Okay, this is going to be those mid-volume keywords that we're looking for when you're looking to optimize on a lower budget. Okay, so minimum 500, maximum 2,500 in the search volume column, and then just hit apply. The next thing you're going to want to do is just export this into an Excel. And what I like to do is I also like to convert the Excel sheet to a Google Sheet. You can use Excel if you want. My personal preference is to use Google Sheets. So after I've exported it as Excel, I'll start the Google Sheets process, and I'll just delete the Cerebro IQ column and just copy over the phrase, the search volume, and the competing product columns, okay? And once that's inside my Google Sheets and I can see all of the phrases and their search volumes in there, I'll just go ahead and label the form. I'll put competitor keywords on page 1 because all of the keywords we're going to be looking at and all the keywords that we're going to be using in these campaigns, the competitor is ranked on page 1 for all of these phrases. And Helium lets you see that when you look at the keywords. Just look at the far right of the search data and you can see organic rank number 1, number 2, number 3, all on page 1. So you can see how, this particular seller, they've already done all the heavy legwork, and you can see that a lot of these keywords, they're not necessarily high search volume, but they're not low search volume either, okay? And usually what we'll do is we'll go ahead and only use, again, this is if your budget is a bit tight, we'll only copy over 15 to 20 keywords. Ideally, try to stay with 15 keywords though, okay? So we'll start from the top down and we'll usually keep, as many keywords as necessary in here. I think a max at about 200 keywords in this format would be suffice. So when you're first creating the campaigns, let's go ahead and look at the 15 keywords that will be ideal to use if we were creating PPC campaigns. Okay, so this is what we did for our client. We looked at the 15 keywords and we removed any keywords that were not 100% relevant. Okay, and when you're looking at the keywords, it's also important to look at the competing products. If you see that it has a tremendous amount of competing products, let's say more than 5,000, then maybe you'd like to stay away from those. But again, if the search volume's there, it doesn't hurt to test. But if you want a threshold to go off of, let's do a threshold of no more than 5,000 competing products, okay? So we'll look at these and we'll go ahead and go through this. And once we get those 15 keywords from the top down all the way to the 15 from the list, and we see that the competing products are no more than 5,000, and we make sure that the keyword is 100% relevant, right? It doesn't have like a paper mache wallet or something like that. It has, an indicator in the phrase itself that uniquely identifies your product, right? So high relevancy, no more than 5,000 competing products, and you want to stay within the range of 500 to 2,500 in search volume. And the fastest way to do this is to basically piggyback off of your top competitors' listings on page 1 and just use the Cerebro tool to reverse engineer that process. And of course, don't forget, once you use these particular keywords, make sure you highlight them red or whatever color, so that way you know that these keywords that are red, right, you've highlighted them red, they're currently in use, and you know which other keywords as the months progress that you'll need to add and test to see if you can get more sales at a lower ACoS. But you want to differentiate which keywords are in use and which ones are still not in use. Alright, so now let's actually go ahead and create the campaign inside Seller Central. So once you click through on the sponsored product ads, now you're going to go ahead and create the campaign. So for the campaign name, you can put competitor page 1 keywords. Okay. And you can put whatever portfolio you want. You don't have to use a portfolio. And for the daily budget, you can put, again, whatever you feel comfortable. For this example, let's just put $20. Okay, and go ahead and make sure that you have manual targeting selected, not automatic. And then as we scroll down, go ahead and do. You can leave this as a default. Again, dynamic bids down only is going to be the default that's highlighted. You can leave that as is. That's exactly what we did for our client. And for the ad group, this is where you're going to name this particular ad group. Let's call this one broad. Okay. And now let's go and add the keywords to this campaign. Okay, so you've selected your product. We're now in the targeting section. Just make sure keyword targeting is highlighted. And on the actual keyword targeting section, just make sure you click on enter list right here. We're going to use Amazon's suggested bid, so don't change anything there, and go ahead and copy your keywords right there, right? The 15 keywords you just went over. But make sure you uncheck phrase and you uncheck exact, so that way only broad is highlighted, okay? And then go ahead and add the keywords, right? And what this is going to do is it's going to create one campaign with one ad group, And in this first ad group that we labeled broad, all of the keywords are going to be broad in that specific ad group. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go back into the campaign and create a second ad group. And in that second ad group, what you're going to want to do is go through the exact same process. For the ad group name, you're going to call it phrase, and then go down to the keyword targeting section, paste the keywords there, and make sure only the phrase match type is selected, okay? And then again, do it one more time. You're going to go back into the campaign after you submit it, and you're going to create a third ad group, and that third ad group name is going to be exact. And when you paste the keywords, make sure only the exact match type is checked when you add those keywords. And so what this is going to do is it's going to have one campaign with 3 different ad groups, and inside each ad group, you're going to have only one match type, and they're not convoluted with one another. And that's basically how you're going to set this campaign up, because it's going to allow you to easily see which match types are performing better, and it's going to allow you to easily go through, okay, maybe phrase and broad are performing better than exact, or whatever the variation is, and it's going to allow you to maximize your product's exposure on Amazon instead of all of the keywords just being inside one ad group. Whereas if you diversify your 3 ad groups, you're allowing Amazon to be more efficient with your budget, and you're allowing them to give you the maximum exposure possible when you're looking to target the keywords. So do this campaign setup, track the results for the first 30 days, and this is going to be one of the fastest ways for you to get your campaigns up and running if you're on a tighter budget, and especially if you're launching in a competitive space. If you found this video resourceful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. And of course, if you have any questions at all, go ahead and leave me a comment. I'll try to reply to you as soon as possible. And of course, if you want to watch every single one of these Amazon PPC optimization strategies on the go, be sure to check out the Savvy Amazon Sellers podcast. There will be a link below in the description where you can subscribe to the podcast, and you can listen to every single episode on your own time. Well, of course, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.